What is up, guys? So in today's video, we're going to take a look at a post on Blind where someone is asking, should they leave this company after working only 6 months? And the company in question is no other than Big G or Google. And so let's jump right into the topic. He says, I joined Google 6 months ago and I'm just not feeling it. I have several good leads for other companies, but I am wondering if I should try and stick it out for at least a year, or does it look bad to leave after only 6 months? All right, so let's try to help this brother out. Google, as you guys know, one of the most prestigious tech companies that are out there. For a lot of people, it's a dream to get into the company. Even for me, it took me at least 3 or 4 times of interviewing before I finally got an offer. And so I worked at Google for about 2.5 years. There were some ups and downs along my journey, but overall, it was a great experience and I learned a lot from it. And I don't regret not working at the company. But I know that's not the same experience for everybody. And for this gentleman, it seems like he's experiencing some cultural shocks, or he may not have the best team or the best manager, or he just may not be the best fit, just personality-wise. Google is a company that tends to hire a lot of sort of A-type personalities. Maybe not so much for the engineering division, but for a lot of the business roles, program manager, data scientist, marketing, biz ops, strategy, all those kinds of roles, they do tend to hire very extroverted A-type of personalities. And if his personality is not fitting in, then he or she may not feel like they're part of that culture. And after 6 months, they're debating whether to leave the company. And there's going to be a couple pros and cons with either approach. Let's say you leave the company and you move on. Well, other companies and recruiters and hiring managers are going to be curious, if you put on your resume that you were only there for 6 months, why did you leave after 6 months? It's always a red flag, I think, for recruiters and hiring managers when they do see anything less than 1 year. And so that's also something to consider. You could also choose to leave it out and just have a gap in your resume, but it is something to consider. If you do find something else, he says that there are other competing companies out there that he could get a better offer, in which case, go ahead, explore those options. Figure out if there's something else out there better for you, if you know for sure that this is not the place to be. After 6 months, you should kind of know whether or not that's the environment that you're going to either thrive in, or if it's going to be an uphill battle. And for whatever reason, if you don't get along with your team, your manager, then you might have to make that jump. So that's the path where you can leave the company and find something else. Now, if you do leave the company after 6 months, the chance of you ever coming back is going to be pretty low. Those that leave prematurely, whether it's 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, it's going to be on the record. If they really like you and they want you back, and let's say you have a very special skill that they absolutely need, they might consider hiring you back. But other than that, it's going to be really tough for you to ever come back. And so if you're okay walking away from Google and comfortable with the fact that you might not ever get a chance to work there again, then go ahead and leave and move on to something better. If I were you though, my personal opinion, I would try to stick it out. First 6 months is kind of that ramp in the onboarding period, and it's always going to be challenging for a lot of folks, especially if it's a brand new skill set or if it's a new tech stack that you have to learn. Also, it takes anywhere from 6 months to 9 months to a year for a lot of people to get acclimated and to get adjusted to a new environment. And you might be cutting yourself a little bit short if you're not giving yourself a full opportunity to really adjust and assimilate into that new culture. If you can try to switch a team, typically you want to put in at least a year in your current team to be able to get that green light from your manager and also the other hiring managers to switch teams, but you might have an exception. I remember in my role when I first joined Google as a FP&A analyst, I actually left there before a year because there was just a lot of churn in our team, and I had gone through like 3 or 4 managers, and I quickly realized that this wasn't the place that I wanted to be in, and I think they understood where I was coming from. So I was able to make a pivot within like 8 or 10 months and switch out of finance into more of a product support type of role. And so there are scenarios where you can try to find something internally, where if you still like the company, you like the culture, and obviously you want to keep vesting your stocks, then it probably makes a lot of sense to find something internally and find a team that will sponsor you. So if you can explore that option, that's what I would recommend. That way you can spend at least a year, maybe even longer, to build up your performance, your credibility. And so if you do leave after that, well, at least you've put in your year, and that's sort of the implicit commitment that I think, employers and employees typically have whenever you start something new. That's my 2 cents on this. I know a lot of people are going through the same issue too. Starting a new job at a new company in a new industry can always be scary. And my advice is to try to find mentors, find other people that you can connect and relate to, because everyone starts at different places in a new role. Try to find people that you can relate to and learn from them so that you can also learn from their experiences and make the decision that makes the most sense for you. But if you know for sure that this is not the right environment and you're 100% sure that you don't want to come back, then go ahead and find greener pastures. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts for this post and for this OP. Leave some comments down below. Try to help this brother out, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.